Cleetose, who is our host for the evening.
Yes. I'm just about ready. Let's look at picks and bans.
Let's do just that.
All right. First up, I believe Pires won the toss. He elected to spy first, which has been a common move. That's probably what I would have done. And so he was the first ban, and he bans balcony, which uh, not a map I would have picked, but that's fine. My only ban is pub, which is the map I ban nearly every time.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not like I hate it. It's just, you gotta,
It's not
you kind of gotta
comfortable.
ban something. So why
Yeah.
not? All right. So and the first map pick from Piers is Ballroom, which
All
is
right.
a map a lot of people are pretty comfortable on. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oldest map in the game.
My first pick and one I've been picking pretty often, Library.
Always fun.
I felt like I didn't know much about Piers's sniping style, but I know he's sort of behavioralist heavy, so library seemed to make sense against that.
Indeed.
All right, and then Piers was the one who decided to go with Courtyard. I
Ha
played chicken with them, made him pick
Yeah,
it.
Cleetose wins the staring contest.
Yep,
Yes.
which was good. I actually wanted him to pick that because I really like Gallery, so I went with Gallery as my final map.
All right.
I guess I'm one of the few oldies that enjoys Gallery quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Enough to pick it anyway. All right, now I'm ready to go.
This should be a really fun set up in Platinum.
Should
Starting-
be.
Starting things off with Pires on the spy, Cleetose on the sniper in Ballroom. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Pires has advanced from gold, where he went 10-0, 11-0 if you count the championship match last season.
Immediate attempted reverse drive-by bug does not wind up taking.
By the way, that was the only perfect record in all of SCL in any division last season.
Early highlight for Pires somehow, as he picks up his first flirt for 34%. Might have been a delayed highlight on the bug?
That would be my best guess. Unfortunately, no way to know. It's not like we can ask the man.
Maybe after the game. Picks up a quick fingerprint off of the briefcase. While he believes he is still inconspicuous. Joke's on you, Pires.
And specifically avoiding sidling up close to the seduction target there.
This is an interesting position. I think we're still a little bit too far out to hit the bug, but if we twitch in just a tad, we can be in range to bug without being in range to be in his personal space.
Yeah, but look at that. There were big pockets of space on either side of the seduction target. Opted not to take any of them, and look at the seduction target percentage now.
Yeah.
Green purloin.
Green purloin indeed. 64% is not in three flirt range. There's the contact coming off. Oh, it's safety off already. There's the shot. Cleetose, I'm pretty sure, was on that bug.
That was so quick that you got to figure it was one of those things where he sees the reject and the leave and sees the talk and figures he's waiting for that banana bread. That's a good, I love that feeling as sniper where you think you've got a beat on someone, you see them enter a conversation and you're almost mouthing the words before they say it. You're like, come on, banana bread, here it comes. And then it happens and you think, I've got him.
Yeah, I think a mixture of a little bit of suspicion from that first bug, probably.
Well, I can promise you, I did
I
did not see the bug. I think it was just suspicious activity of moving from one conversation to another very quickly.
But then a purloin happened.
Yep. Yeah, I probably saw the purloin. All right.
All
Anyway,
right.
oh yeah, I got to give myself a point for that.
You're loving this. I can already tell.
Maybe a little bit.
All right, on to the next one. This time, Cleetose stepping into the spy side of things. Pires on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, suspect very early and caught very quickly once he did anything at all dispositive.
Cleetose opens with that 34% flirt.
And Pires is on to him for the early flirt. Pires, one of the kind of snipers who will track for that sort of thing. You'll notice there are 2 early statue visitors not with highlights. Cleetose with a highlight for flirting. Definitely not the most typical style.
Very impressive stuff. I thought he was going to go for a flirt there, but delayed on the pad long enough that he probably could have flirted, and then just picked up that was probably very unintentional.
Yes, action
would assume so.
priorities. I can confirm.
Yep. It's probably fine. Picking up a fingerprint at this here statue to finish that mission up. Pair of inspects to go along with it.
Normally, against any other sniper, I'd say this is an enviable position to be in on Ballroom, but against Pires, I'd say he's probably a top suspect.
It's so hard again to, like, if you don't know exactly what kind of style your opponent plays on the sniper, it can be hard to play spy the right way. Time ad coming off.
Reminds me of the first time I ever played Viri. I thought, what on earth is this witchcraft? And
Yeah.
eventually, you know, you learn what's up a little bit and you have to adjust, but they force you to play out of your comfort zone quite a bit.
Green test on the time ad might wind up being very important. Nice thing about green test time ads is they have a tendency to make your opponent do stupid things.
Right. So the benefit from the time ad is moderate in terms of just, you know, time to complete missions, especially if it's not a Softail variant map. The bigger benefit is the way it can get into the sniper's head and make them think they saw something they didn't.
Oh, it's a white swap! Run! 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 Get out of there! This is bad. This is problems.
I
We're
think Pires has seen it.
we're not dead.
Well, we also haven't said banana bread yet. That might have something to do with it.
It might just. I don't know if Pires has actually noticed the swap yet. It's spent most of the time behind that pillar.
I like the move, though. Against the kind of sniper that can nab you for an early flirt, that's the kind of person you want to try something like a mid-game swap against. There are trade-offs to whatever you choose to look at as sniper. If they're catching you for the things that are usually safe, that means the things that are usually dangerous are a little more viable.
Look at all these lowlights. There's only 6 party goers still on the table.
He's looking right at that ambassador.
Cleetose making a show of not bugging by talking. Looking to finish up this flirt. Very short path.
Yeah, it's not ideal, especially given that he might already be a suspect for flirting. Waits a little bit.
Mission win countdown. It's been a very scary game, but it looks like Cleetose has it. And there it is.
I think that's just adjustment. I think that's just knowing at least a little bit about the kind of person you're playing there. That mid-game swap is such an unusual thing to see on Ballroom, but this is one of the few really excellent snipers where it might be kind of viable against.
That was cool.
Exactly what I was thinking when I did it.
I can't tell if that's sarcastic or not, but if it was,
no, it's true. That is absolutely true. I was just like, hey, I could probably swap right now.
You know, it's funny. I had something like that the other day. It was a casual game, but I had a very similar feeling. I remember thinking, it feels like a swap is good here for a reason I could not even put into words. Sure enough, it worked. Sometimes, especially if you haven't swapped in a while, maybe it seems like an atypical time during the game to do it. Sometimes this little alarm bell goes off in your head and tells you, I think it's swapping time.
Yeah, usually people are used to swaps, like Time of Chaos swaps. They're used to end game inspect swaps. These these weird little off timing moments can really catch some snipers off guard, particularly ones who don't guard hardtails maybe as strong as a lot of snipers do.
Yeah, and it can
Either
only
way-
work against somebody with thousands and thousands of games who kind of has that game script in their head to fight against. Yeah.
And this worked out very well for Cleetose, who goes up 2-0 off the start. Pires back on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, just coming out really strong from Cleetose against against someone who some people say is among the top 2 or 3 snipers in the entire game.
Yeah. All right, looking to pick up an early flirt here. 33% on it, which is just fine. Can even afford to timer flirt this if we are so inclined, although I doubt we will be.
I always find it very interesting to see when a sniper plays an atypical style, specifically in regards to how they guard flirts versus hardtails, whether or not that's reflected in their spy play as well.
And so far, it appears that it is. I'm surprised we've stayed in this conversation as long as we have now that the seduction target is left.
You hate these little short paths for the flirt, but I don't think you can resist it, yeah.
Yeah. Might have been able to go to the other side of the seduction target just to make the path a little bit longer, but it does net us a green test up to 84%, which is very nice to see. Two minutes and 5 left on the clock. Here it is with 2 flirts under his belt.
Yeah, finishing up the flirt with a couple minutes left is fine, but usually you have banana bread done with it too by now.
Or at least some other progress. We're a little bit behind the curve now. Pires channeling his inner Marimo as he picks up a white purloin.
And there was so little going on in the party.
Knows.
Yeah, there was so little going on in the party.
Knows.
At minimum, Cleetose has got this narrowed down heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at some of this. I think he's got his suspects and he's pretty happy with them, and one of them is indeed the spy.
Yeah, and I imagine Pires is an extremely heavy suspect right now.
Yeah, I don't think he can do anything at this point. He's gulped the drink, it's gone. Cleetose has got to be, if not positive he saw it, very close to positive. Just waiting for any excuse, I think, at this point.
Well, we've got the flirt done as well now, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We still have 2 missions to complete, and Cleetose' laser bearing down. Double Agent is not being cooperative either, so this is a bad situation for Pires.
Yeah, no banana bread, no statues, and those are the 2 things that would normally get you shot once you're a huge suspect for a purloin like that. Hasn't done either of them yet.
Nice little AI move to tuck in with pencil stash there for a moment.
I really don't see what you can do here. Again, even if you do something like bug and get away with it clean, you still have either banana bread or statue visit. Yeah.
Well, he tried the bug, didn't get away with it at all, and took a bullet for it, so... Cleetose taking the first 3.
That's really coming out of the gate strong against someone who's on quite a winning streak too before this. Just expected by most people the choice to win platinum, and here down 3-0 against Cleetose already.
Yeah, and Pires' sniper game is his strong suit, and he's lost his first 2.
Just one. Just one. We'll see about this one.
Oh, right, my bad. My apologies.
Yeah, but still, it's not the kind of position you expected to be in or want to be in.
Let's see how Cleetose does on the spy side, looking to sweep the doubled map of Ballroom. Pires looking to stay in the fight on the sniper side in 3, 2, 1, playing it. I'm not saying that Pires is a bad spy by any means, but he is a very, very strong sniper.
Yeah, I think it's clearly lopsided is not quite the right word. I think he's a fine spy, but definitely an overwhelming sniper is more what it is.
Little bit of a walking flirt to start things off by Cleetose. I like the look of that against Pires. Wrong arm bug was probably unintentional, and the shot comes off for it. Pires is on the board.
Well, I mean, the bug was intentional, but yeah.
Oh yeah, the bug was certainly intentional, but I don't think it would have made a huge difference either way.
Yeah.
He was
by the
watching
way,
that pretty hard.
if you want some numbers, by the way, the gold average for spy shot for snipers was just a little over 50%. For Pires, 87.5.
That was actually a pretty impressive catch on that, now that I'm looking at it back. That was not a bad bug by any means since Kane was in the way, but it was enough, apparently. Either way, stepping into the library next, Pires got on the board on the sniper side. Might be able to do it on the spy. Cleetose looking to stop him. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and if you're
Early
Pires,
bug attempt does not take for Pires.
you needed that win.
Very much so.
Just to have a chance, really. If you go down 4-0 with 2 sniper losses, at that point, Cleetose can sort of just YOLO it and just take aggressive wild shots and just go crazy on spy and probably still eke out a victory.
So, oh god, and the highlight, this is a really rough start for Pires. Gets a reasonably close green for 42%. But man, oh man, is this... You can already tell this game is not going his way.
Yeah, off to a bad start for sure. As Rocker again.
Double agent steps away as well. All right, well, we've got the first flirt. We've got a blue book in hand. I don't think we can afford to transfer this, though.
No, I don't think so. You know, we joke that we like to cast Library because it's action-packed and the spy's doing a lot. Not this time.
Well, we are bringing the book a little bit over, so we might try returning this to green, although I don't think it's going to end well. Well, keep going. Ooh, a little bit of a redirect.
I think a pause would have made sense there, right? But I don't know about that. I don't think that was an actual bounce.
I think a pause would have been the way to do it, but that's like, even if it wasn't perfect, that's AI oh man!
Just straight up hiding.
Is he just gonna sit here and just what? I'm confused.
I think there was some problems with the collision, and he thought, you know what, let's just wait out the storm here behind this pillar, and then get going when I don't think he's looking anymore. The pathing here has been erratic, to say the least.
Yeah, this has been very strange. Putting the book away in green, so lots of time delay on that microfilm transfer, and he does survive it. Walking bug on the way through was on camera, but very, impossible to see. It was a beautiful bug.
It wouldn't have even mattered. Cleetose looking at Duke, tilting the camera, I think, suspecting a swap. We're under 90 seconds on Library. It's something you got to watch out for. Good bug and just other stuff going on anyway.
Contact comes off into the split. Oh, man. Cleetose, I think, is a little bit worried about this. Not worried enough! As he takes the wrong shot, and Pires is starting to claw his way back into this.
Yeah, well, I can tell you what happened with that one early on. I think we had a little bit of lag in our match. And Carlos was picking up a drink at the same time that Toby was moving his tray away. And so, which was like, that does happen with lag, so that's why I didn't shoot right away, but it was enough to keep me concerned for the rest of the game. Rocker was sort of like my second, but it was just, you can see Duke take a very bug-like path right at the end behind the pillar, so I wouldn't have been able to see whether or not it happened. So I shot.
Fair enough. Either way, Cleetose stepping in to the spy side, looking to retain his lead. Pires on the sniper, looking to squash it. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And Pires there, actually quite a few problems with pathing and other things like that.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
But it's library. And in library, you can get away with, 5 or 6 little hiccups like that sometimes.
Early flirt at the windows, so a little bit worried about getting close, especially against Pires. Only gets 25%, but it's a start.
And you're still in a really good position if you're Cleetose, for sure. But you've given away part of that early advantage, and you really want to get it back.
Just puts the book away innocently. Would have probably liked to be able to chase the seduction target somewhere, but doesn't wind up happening. Looking for a possible crash bug on the ambassador here now that the laser swung away, but goes for a time ad instead and decides to play a more patient game. Oh god, that's really, really bad.
Wow. Yeah, he's all over it. And what was really striking about that is how quick those were.
Yeah, that was so fast.
It moved like he was using a paintbrush feature in a graphics editor. He just sort of swarmed his cursor all over everything, and they just all went black all at once.
And now Cleetose stepping into statues. Side statues, but statues nonetheless.
It doesn't
This
matter.
is not going to end well for Cleetose.
He just got so many lowlights from one single time ad. I got to be honest, he got so many lowlights that if you'd gotten 3.5 minutes for that time ad, I don't think it would have been enough.
There's the bug cane side, and that's enough to take a shot.
It was actually a pretty good bug, I thought.
It was.
I was looking right at it, and it wasn't super visible, but come on, there's just nobody else to watch.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was unfortunate.
It's all the time ad. That's all it was, yeah.
Yep.
And like even for the people who do catch time ads, it is so rare to see a time ad caught that well.
Correct. Yeah, that is actually, out of all the games we've casted, I can't remember a time ad leading to that many lowlights that quickly.
All right. All tied up now. Pires is right back into this as he steps into the spy side. Cleetose on the sniper once more. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
That cursor was like a machine gun just mowing people down.
Oh, we're doing this, are we? Okay.
Did not take. Oh, well. It's tempting. I don't have no problem with the decision. And Boots gets a highlight for a possible bug.
What is with all this pillar shenaniganry?
I noticed the other day.
Behind.
I noticed the other day that I was ending up behind the pillar without even trying to. I'm not really sure why. I guess it's just not that hard to.
Pires is using these pillars to the fullest effect that he can. Got a time ad from it. Big teleport, unfortunately. Not seen as far as I can tell. Lots of idling coming out from Pires here.
I think that visit to that pad was a little short, but you're probably going to be fine here on library.
3 minutes and 35 seconds left to play. Sounds like a lot, but we have literally zero progress.
Yeah, it's not that much. But he's the fastest character, at least. Or one of them, I should say. I think we've determined it's Taft, yes?
I believe so.
But way up there, at least.
Yep, Alice is certainly a quick one.
Some people will lowlight a very...
Hello, Ambassador. Get bugged. Thank
for
you.
a slow character on this map.
That is undetectable.
Pretty much, yeah. The reason it's fair that it's undetectable is that there's still 4 missions to do.
Banana bread.
Unfortunately, from that fake contact, we are in conversation with a suspected double agent. So, womp womp.
Ooh, and that looks like what? Good 5 good lowlights, a couple of them highlights too. That was a very rough banana bread. Cleetose gets a lot out of it.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that was rough on several levels. I would have been kind of a bad banana bread even if it took. But it didn't even take, and it didn't distract from anything either. Really
Yeah.
not sure I see the logic there.
Banana bread.
Real contact coming off now with a flirt to follow. Another low light. So the real contact is actually quite good.
Yeah. It's not worth a whole lot when it's your second one, of course, but at least it wasn't made much worse.
Makes you wonder if that first one was a mistake somehow.
Well, I wonder if the double agent just left during. That's the only thing I can make any
It
sense of.
can't,
Because
it can't be. Suspected double agent was in conversation.
oh, jeez. Well, then I have no idea what the thinking was.
Yeah. We do have half of the flirt, though. Minute and 45 left to play. More pillar shenaniganry by Pires. Another time ad back there.
Yeah, it's getting
Another
old.
one.
Okay.
Double green, triple. This one white, and now he steps away with it.
What do they always do, Tobo? They always do one time ad too many, don't they? 2 instead of 1, 3 instead of 2. The
I
first
think
2 are green.
It looks like we got away with it.
Well, we'll
completely.
see. Might be able to narrow it down. Let's see. No, nothing yet. Nothing from the lights. When the lights don't change at all in regards to a time ad, one of two things has happened. They missed it completely, or they're almost positive they know, so there's no point in changing anything.
That's the seduction finished up.
Both of those are wrong.
What third possibility is there, my friend?
I didn't miss it, but I have no idea who did it.
Oh, no, that's what I mean by miss it. If you don't know who time added, you miss the time add in the way that matters. Yeah, you might know time has been added, but there's no actionable information beyond that. But it is interesting that you've noticed it, because I think what's relevant there is you might be looking for another.
Well, I will say that I was tunneling a bit on a certain character.
And it's probably not Pires.
Yeah.
All right, well, still 2.5 minutes on the spy clock.
Pires using the time, at least.
Yep.
We like to joke about people time adding and then rushing missions anyway. If you're going to time add 3 times, I think you have to idle for at least 1.
Finally gets his highlight with 2 missions left to go. Side statues is going to be the start of that.
And Cleetose is watching this very closely. There might be a lot of time on the actual clock, but the game's been going on long enough that a swap could be the final mission right about now.
Yeah, something like, I think at this point, it's going to be very difficult for Cleetose to win this, barring a swap or a purloin or something like that.
I think there's enough suspicion, yeah.
But we don't have any fingerprints on the board, so it might wind up being a hard tell.
Yeah, this is one of those times where it'd be nice to go into this highlight with 1 fingerprint already. It would give you many more options.
Indeed. Last statue visit will give the inspect we need to finish that up. Goes for the swap and immediately takes the bullet somehow. Cleetose pulling it back and finding the win there.
Well, I didn't see the swap. It faded just as I was turning away. Saw the fade.
Yeah, and clearly looking for it, waiting for it, very suspicious of anyone entering statues at that point in the game. I don't think there was any scenario under which that was going to work.
Yeah, I think, like, for Pires, swap is, like, the least... that is the most likely mission to get you shot. All right, so Cleetose has his lead back. Stepping into the spy side, Pires on the sniper in the last game of Library. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Starting things out at the statue super quick, looking for the early swap, and I believe gets it off clean.
Right, so this is the trade here. You get it off clean, but at what cost, right? The cost is they know you could have done it. I think against Pires, it's a smart move.
Look at this, 2 mission completions so fast. Got the green tests on the inspect, so even with the swap happening, we were able to get those inspects done within 2 cycles.
Yeah, very quick. Just those green tests can really matter there. They usually don't matter too much for inspects, but they did there big time. And if you're Cleetose, the question is, do you press this advantage? Do you just rush, rush, rush?
Banana bread.
Fake contact happening.
To cover the
interestingly
purloin,
enough.
yep. So
To
you are
cover the
rushing.
purloin.
Yep, that's the
Oh,
rush.
this is beautiful. I love this so much from Cleetose.
Yeah, very solid. I think you want to go do the real banana bread, and then you just flirt to win. I know it's
Purloin has
Pires.
come off. Pires
gets low
gets.
You get some low light for
Pires
it.
is lights-ing people.
But it's still, there's still a good number of people available, still a half dozen that he hasn't ruled out. And that would normally be pretty good, except Cleetose has already got most of the difficult missions done here. He can seduce banana bread to the win.
Another contact. 3 possible lowlights.
Only gets
Didn't get them. Oh,
only gets
almost
one, maybe?
low-lit Cleetose.
Only gets one because Queen goes to statues from the far side right after, but it looks like a split, and also had an SDA in the conversation, so Queen cannot get ruled out.
Indeed. And now we begin the flirt. And we can take all the time in the world for this with 2 minutes left to play. 19% on the flirt in normal circumstances is hot garbage, but in this circumstance might be just fine. Although if we timer flirt this, it is in fact going to be hot garbage. Ooh. Ooh, fingerprint. I am a little bit unsure how I feel about this.
Yeah, it's a strange decision, but I guess he's thinking, you know, this is someone who might actually shoot me for what feels like the safe final mission in flirt.
I still don't agree with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do either. I think you can take your time with the flirt, but well, this is what he's gonna do.
Oh boy.
I
Okay.
think the flirt thing is understandable, but I still think if you're patient, you have a chance of getting away with it. I don't know. I think it's a reasonable choice though.
Look how much time we lost from taking that fingerprint. We have 50 seconds now. Oh boy. We're not on the pad.
It looked pretty AI. It was a nice tight little turn there.
Yep. I think we're gonna get the print on the statue here to finish it off. This is scary.
And if Pires doesn't shoot, then he was not tracking fingerprint that much.
There's the print.
I don't see any indication. Not even looking. Looking at the ambassador, because Queen is next to the ambassador. That's what it is.
Oh,
wow.
Man. That was so scary.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about that mispad. I got bumped out of the I got bumped and turned, the wrong way. So I was just like, well, time to back up and try that again.
Please go back on the replay a little bit. Right when the mission went
I already went back.
All right. Well, I'll just explain what happens. Queen, just as the mission win countdown starts, Queen is on the far right third of the map, basically making a beeline for a stationary ambassador, and Pires has no choice but to stare it down. He's already suspicious of Queen for what looked like a split into statues earlier with an SDA in the nearby conversation, has to watch it, and gets distracted just long enough.
This is back and forth, man. First map goes 3-1 in favor of Cleetose. Then Pires wins 2. Then Cleetose wins 2.
Yeah, you'd say if you're up 3-1, splitting the next map is perfectly fine. You just wouldn't expect it to happen after losing your first 2. So just punch, counter punch, all match so far.
This has been really something, but as we move into the courtyard, we do have Cleetose up 5-3 as he steps into the sniper side. Let's see if Pires can come back yet again. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. He's done it once.
Yeah.
Attempted Time of Chaos Cane bug does not wind up taking as we step into conversation with our seduction target for the standard start of 51% on the green flirt.
Now, if you're Pires, you're in the unusual position of needing a spy win, basically, to
Yeah.
keep competitive. Not a position Pires has been in for a very long time in probably any match. In fact, I think the last time it might have happened might have been when we played in gold 2 years ago.
Slightly weird bouncing, got caught on the way past the conversation circle, and you can tell he's a little bit frustrated by it, by the camera shake. Another attempted reverse drive-by bug. This one doesn't take either.
I don't like that decision either. There's
Yeah.
your windows, Cleetose was at the only angle where it wasn't really obvious necessarily, but he still might be suspicious. And almost any other angle, which you have to at least assume based on the laser latency, it could have been very visible.
White test flirt brings us up to 85%. Grab a quick fingerprint off the briefcase, and now we step away into a lonely conversation.
Yeah, a lot of idling here.
Only a minute and 20 left to play. No completions as of yet. This is not looking great for Pires.
That strange reverse direction was completely behind the statue centerpiece, though. Cleetose did not see it.
Not willing to take another shot at the reverse drive-by bug, which makes sense. Finishing up the flirt real quick. 1 minute left to play. We do have that one fingerprint on the table, so that might be useful moving forward, but I don't know. This is not looking good. We still have to do statues. We don't have the contact yet. There's a white purloin on courtyard. That's what happens when you get a white purloin on the courtyard.
Yep, we've seen that a few times today already. 3 times.
So it's obviously you just want to say white purloin, but in games like this, it's not so much a white purloin. It's more like all the other decisions that force you into the position where you feel like you have to purloin to have a chance. It's really the idling earlier. In some of the earlier games we casted tonight, we saw white purloins in situations where they could really do it or not, where they were basically just deciding when to time their hardtail. It wasn't necessarily near the end of the game. In this case, the purloin was made necessary by the decisions earlier.
I will say, even though we didn't get a highlight, I was a bit suspicious of him throughout a lot of that game, but not enough to give him a highlight.
Lots of weird paths.
That's for sure.
All right. Cleetose has brought himself up to match point with that recent win. He has guaranteed himself at least a draw, and Pires needs 3 in a row to bring it back. This is where it starts. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. And if Cleetose has his way, this is also where it ends.
Now, obviously,
early statue visit is an unusual decision, but you got to keep them snipers honest, man.
And again, we've said, anything that you might not normally do against another top sniper, you might want to consider doing here. You want to play against type. You want to zig rather than zag.
Case in point, no early statue highlight. Now stepping in for his first flirt. This is a strong start from Cleetose. Picks up 40. Oh, 48. I thought it was in range for 49, but it wasn't quite. That's a little bit unfortunate, but
yeah, still, that could come back to bite you.
Yeah. Generally, you don't want to bank on a 2 flirt either way, but
banana bread.
There's the contact. 1 low light, 2, 3 low lights. Oh no!
Saw the bug.
Yeah, he saw the bug.
Yeah, he saw the bug.
Yeah, no, it was just unfortunate. A little bit of laser lag. I looked for the laser. It seemed like it was on the other side, but then suddenly it wasn't.
Yeah, so actually, I like the decision because if you look at the rotation there and the time he spends thinking about the lowlights, there is a nice little gap. So
yeah,
sometimes
I was a little slow, I think.
Right. I think maybe you hesitated, like 1 second difference there, and it becomes much more viable. 2 seconds, and you might get away with it clean, I think, or at least there'd just be a path aftermath sort of to see there. So a good sniper at this point knows that banana breads are very often used to cover something, particularly hardtails. But there's a nice little window sometimes, a little counterplay on expectations where if you don't do it in the first second or two, they let their guard down, and there's like a 3 to 5 second window afterwards instead, where it becomes viable again sometimes, where they sort of ease up a little bit. I think there was an opening there, just a little off.
Wrong arm was also very unfortunate.
Yeah, that made it harder too. But I think a right arm bug a second and a half earlier has a real chance of taking and working.
All right, 4-6, Cleetose' favor. Pires needs 2 wins on the gallery to tie this up. Cleetose fighting for a victory here and now from the sniper side. Pires on the spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Hello, Ambassador. Oh no! Doesn't take. It was so good.
And a highlight for it.
Oh,
Big trouble
no!
already. Could it be over before it started?
Oh, that hurts. All right. This is going to have to be spectacular, Pires. Show us what you got.
I don't know if I would trade that kind of highlight early in this game for a bug. I definitely wouldn't trade it for a failed bug, though. That is a rough place to be in.
It is. It very, very much is. I don't even know if... I don't think Pires even probably knows he's highlight.
He might not. Anytime you attempt an early bug in the time of chaos, you have to be at least aware of the possibility, though.
Yeah.
But he might not have any special reason to think it, no.
Snuggles up into the back conversation here. Might be looking for some purloining. Doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of cover, though.
And if you're a good sniper, and Cleetose certainly is, what you need to do here is you need to keep an eye on this person, see if they give you any excuse to shoot, but you need to hedge your bets just a little bit. You need to keep watching the party as if you're not sure, even if you almost are. Just in case, because we've all been there before. We think we see something. Turns out later we didn't, and we were tunneling. You need to be able to hold both these possibilities in your head at the same time and keep tracking, keep playing.
Bit of a distance on the second flirt, only to 62%. This just keeps going from bad to worse. Does at least get a fingerprint on the blue book here, but isn't going to be able to do any microfilm business. But is going to try.
If you are indeed a big suspect, the number of missions you have any chance of getting away with are much lower. Maybe some difficult fingerprints. Maybe you get the bug to actually take. Maybe a green purloin with a reject chain. That's about it.
Pretty reasonable bounce. Close, not able to hit the green there. 96% on the flirt.
Banana bread.
Contact, try to cover for the microfilm, and it's just not going to happen. Cleetose gets it done in platinum.
And not just gets it done in platinum, gets it done against maybe the favorite to win platinum, certainly one of the favorites, someone coming off a perfect season in gold, 11-0, including the championship. Between his wins at the end of season 2, his perfect run last season, and the start this year, Pires was riding a 14-match winning streak. And owing
That's
to
insane.
That's insane. And owing to 4 draws in season 2, this is only his second SCL loss ever in 24 matches.
Yep, well, as you can see in the replay, I was fairly certain of the bug, and I was also fairly certain that it was too far to have taken. If this was a casual match, I probably would have shot right away, but since this was me sniping for the win, I decided I could wait.
And it certainly worked for you.
Yeah, it's a really good set, and you did it with the spy wins too. Obviously, nobody has any trouble imagining, that players at this level could beat, anyone else, particularly if it's 7-5, right? You hold service sniper, you sneak out a spy win, maybe a softail variant, whatever. But that was not the case here. Multiple spy wins, some of them very convincing.
Yeah, I guess he did say afterwards that there were at least a couple where he was pretty sure it was me, but he just held off shooting for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense. I think a lot of those victories, against a good sniper, it's usually too much to ask that you get away clean without them thinking strongly about shooting
Yep,
you.
that is true.
Usually, to get a spy win at all is to get a spy win where they were thinking very strongly about shooting you most of the time. But in this case, I think the wins have to be attributed to you sort of counterplaying the style a little bit and doing some things that you might not do against a more stereotypical sniper.
I might do those things.
Yeah, sometimes. No, you'll definitely keep them honest, but I really felt like there was a lot of game planning there that paid off pretty well.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've actually, I thought about briefly watching some of Pires' replays or something, but I just went
There
into
you go,
it.
people.
Just went
Research overrated.
Yeah.
Just play your game. Just play your game.
Yeah, I'd never played Pires up until this point, so we were both fresh. That might have been to my advantage, since it's harder for a behavioralist to, play someone for the first time.
That makes sense. Well, congratulations on a fine win, and thank you for hosting as well.
Yeah, no problem. It was a little dodgy in the middle there, but it seemed to have stabilized.
And Platinum Boy, what a shakeup.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see what happens next time. I've got a lot more matches to go, as does everybody else.
Yeah, our own Cleetose here, 2-0-1, hasn't lost yet, just one draw. Pires 2-1-0. And you look at Varanus and Slappy, and you can easily imagine them getting in there and drawn onward, for crying out loud. One of the most experienced players in the world, always a threat. And if I know Cameraman at all, I think he's going to make a late season run and at the very least play spoiler to a couple of these others. Platinum looks up for grabs to me.
Yep, I agree. It's going to be a repeat of season 2 all over again.
Either way, we're about done for the evening. Thanks a ton for everybody who came out to watch. The game you have been watching this evening is called SpyParty. It's available for $25 on Steam and or at SpyParty.com. But if you get it on SpyParty.com, you also get it on Steam, and it gives more money directly to the developer. So I would recommend that method if you don't mind putting your PayPal information into a strange person's website. I have been Taboshi. Your other caster has been the good Sir Warning Track, who is very good at this game.
It's very kind.
Currently first place in Diamond.
Don't jinx it.
Our host for the evening has been Cleetose, who is also very good at this game. You can find me at Tobo TV on Twitter or on Twitch at twitch.tv/Taboshi. Warning Track you can find on Twitter at SpyPartyFans or on twitch.tv at SpyPartyFans. Cleetose, I don't know what your social stuff is.
It's Cleetose everywhere. Anywhere, if you type in a Cleetose and a name comes up, it's me.
It's me. So Orkut, MySpace, whatever, LinkedIn, it's all Cleetose. Follow Cleetose on LinkedIn, everybody.
Yep. I actually am not on LinkedIn.
Oh,
all
right.
I keep my business interests to myself. Or whatever LinkedIn is for.
I think that's probably it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not cool enough to have LinkedIn. All right. Well, I guess we're good. Oh no! Somebody knows my real name.
No.
Not a very good spy there. We've already.
Or is it? Okay. Well,
or
anyway,
is it? Oh,
I guess we should pop off now. All right. Well,
once again, thanks to everybody for hanging out in the chat. It's been a fantastic evening. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. And until next time, this has been the Spy Party Competitive League.
All right. See y'all